Hey everyone, it's Yuto here from SudachiRecipes.com. Today I want to show you how to make classic Japanese tonkatsu into the ultimate sandwich. This is Katsu Sando. This video contains not one, but two sauce recipes. I'll tell you more about those later. First, let's make the katsu. For this, you will need 2 pork chops, a pinch of salt and pepper, flour for coating, 1 egg, 100 gram or half a cup of panko breadcrumbs, and oil for deep frying or shallow frying if you prefer. Start heating your oil early. You want it to be about 170 degrees Celsius or 340 degrees Fahrenheit. While it's heating, we can prepare the katsu. Start by sprinkling a pinch of salt and pepper on each side of the pork chop. Then we'll tenderize the pork a bit so it cooks more evenly. You want the pork chops to be about 2 centimeters thick. That's a bit less than an inch. I've been pretty excited about sharing this recipe. Tonkatsu is one of my favorite dishes, so naturally Katsu Sando is one of my favorite sandwiches. To be honest, it's one of the most loved sandwiches in Japan as well. Now it's time to coat the pork chops. We start with the flour, coating generously on each side. Next, we go to the egg. If you're making more than 2 katsu, you can add a tablespoon of milk to stretch this egg a bit further rather than using more eggs. And finally, we coat in the panko breadcrumbs. Make sure it's well covered. Once your oil is ready, add the katsu. I have a small pot, so I'm cooking one at a time, but if you have a bigger pan, then you can cook them at the same time. Just don't overcrowd the pan too much. When you first add them to the oil, the moisture makes it crackle quite loudly. I cook the katsu for about 4 minutes on each side. It should be a nice golden brown by this point. The oil will also become quiet when the pork chops are cooked all the way through. So they're looking good and crispy. Set them on a wire rack to let any excess oil drain off, and we can start preparing the rest of the sandwich ingredients. First, I'm going to show you how to make Japanese mustard mayo. It's very easy. Here's what you need. 2 tablespoons of Japanese style mayonnaise, 1 teaspoon of Japanese mustard, which is called karashi, half teaspoon of sugar, and a pinch of black pepper. So put these 4 ingredients straight into a bowl and mix. It's that easy. This only takes 1 or 2 minutes to whip up, and it really gives the sandwich a kick. You might wonder how Japanese mustard is different to regular mustard. Well, it's a hot and peppery mustard with a bit of a bitter taste. It's definitely spicier than Western mustards. It is quite similar to hot English mustards, so if you can't get Japanese karashi mustard, you can use Coleman's or Chinese mustard powder. With the sauce already done, let's assemble the sandwich. Before that, we just want to dip the katsu in about 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce just to add extra flavor. Don't let it get too soggy. So now take your bread. This all comes down to preference, but Katsu Sando often has the crust cut off. But it's really up to you. Spread with a thin layer of butter. I've also lightly toasted my bread. Add some of your mustard mayo. Then the katsu. Another layer of mustard mayo. Top with some shredded cabbage. Tonkatsu is always served with shredded cabbage in Japan somehow. I use about 50 grams of shredded cabbage for 2 katsu sandwiches. And that's it. If the katsu is too big for the bread, just cut the ends and just eat them. Cut into halves or thirds and it's done. The next recipe uses a special red miso sauce. It's rich and delicious. So here's what you will need. 1 tablespoon of red miso paste, 1 tablespoon of mirin, 1 tablespoon of sake, 1 tablespoon of honey, and 1 tablespoon of white sesame seeds. So this time we'll add everything to a cold saucepan and then turn on the heat to a low setting. Miso katsu is actually a famous dish from Aichi Prefecture in Japan, which is where I'm from. The miso sauce is made from a rich red miso paste. I use Hacho miso to make this sauce. Hacho miso is a famous miso company in my home city, and it's delicious. I literally grew up 10 minutes away from their factory. But red miso you find in Asian supermarkets works fine too. We cook this sauce because not only do we want to thicken it up, but we also want to cook away the alcohol in the sake and mirin. If you don't have sake, white wine can be the alternative. Once it's thick, take it off the heat and we can prepare our miso katsu sandwich. We don't dip the katsu in Worcestershire sauce for this sandwich because the miso sauce is quite strong. It doesn't need any other flavor. So again, take your bread, spread a thin layer of butter and some of your miso sauce. Now add a handful of shredded cabbage and put the katsu on top. Miso sauce again. Cabbage again. This is a pretty big sandwich. And it's done. Trim the ends and cut into halves or thirds, and there you have it. The ultimate katsu sandwich. If you've tried these recipes, let us know which sauce you like best in the comments. We'd love to hear what you think. And if you want to check out written version of this recipe, the links are in the description below. Thanks for watching today's video. If you like these recipes, check out our channel and website. Everything's in the description below. Have a great day, everyone.